Ladies and gentlemen, there's no better way to get up in the morning than to get up with Garret. Garret is a third-generation success credentialed real estate entrepreneur who's here to give you tips, tricks, and share stories of success. Ladies and gentlemen, without any further ado, Garret Bedron. Oh, excuse me.
Hey,
Garret
Dougie,
Bedron.
there he is.
How are we doing?
That's a good joke. I love when you do that. Pretend that someone's going to be in that chair. You know, Dougie, we're kicking ass and we're taking names. So you can't always make it to the studio, and sometimes, like some of the Silicon Valley people, we got to do a little remote work here, right? Do a little remote login. So we're coming to you live from our Glen Rock, New Jersey family offices here, where we are working on a lot of exciting projects. So I appreciate everybody spending the morning with us. It's Thursday, November 10th, and we've had some up and down weather. I was supposed to go to Palm Beach for about 24 hours. We have a new manager. Shout out to Constance at our Palm Beach Gardens, Salons by JC in beautiful Palm Beach Gardens, Florida. And she said to me on Monday, Garret, are you sure you want to come Tuesday, Wednesday? Could be a tropical storm hurricane. And I said, no, I don't. I'm not sure. And so, had to cancel that. And thankfully, I mean, there's a lot of people without power and a lot of people having trouble. And we just want to hope and wish that they're safe. But you never want to go on a business trip when you knowingly are going into something like that. That just doesn't make sense. So we're thankful in the world of FaceTime and Zoom and things like that. You could also do training remotely and help her adjust. So hopefully we'll get down there the next couple of weeks and visit. Maybe we'll go live from Palm Beach. How does that sound, Dougie?
Wow, hey, that sounds good. I'm coming.
You're definitely coming. You want to be in person though, right? You don't want to be remote.
Oh yeah. I want to be on the jet and with the plane with you. Yeah.
You got it. You want to be with me. By the way, are you going to the Giant game this Sunday? You excited? Or?
Probably. I mean, I've been to every other home game, so might as well keep it going.
Yeah, might as well. That's exciting. The
Right?
Giants are playing.
They're playing great.
Yeah, they're playing the Houston Texans, and they had a week off. Unfortunately, one of their best defenders, Xavier McKinney, has suffered a hand injury. He had an ATV accident. He was in Cabo San Lucas, I think.
Oh,
and fell off an ATV and has a hand injury. There won't be any more descriptive that will keep him out for 4 weeks. So that is obviously, you give these guys a week off, some rest. Yeah. They've earned it. They've worked so hard, but you never want to see something like that happen. And if you're a Giant fan who's older than 20 years old, you probably remember what happened at JPP, maybe 10 years ago. He knocked his hand off with the fireworks. So how do you not think about that? And that was a real shift. We really needed him. So hopefully the X-Man, as they call him, hopefully he's going to be okay.
Yeah. Stay home. Stay off the ATVs.
Yeah. Put your feet up, read a book, maybe do the Wordle,
it's
you don't have.
It was supposed to be a week off.
Yeah. I hear you, especially when you're getting paid that kind of money. Look, I'm all for the off season, going away and doing your thing, but still, just 1 week off in the middle of the grind. You got to be very careful as a professional athlete. Your body is your skill set. It's your computer. It's your everything. It's your CAD file. It's your artwork. So you got to be careful. So there's a lot going on kind of in the public economic news. There's two major things happening at the same time. The first is there was a big report today that inflation is starting to cool a little bit. So it was slightly lower than what had been anticipated for this quarter, or I should say this month. So that was a great sign, and the market had a tremendous rebound. I think it opened up 700 or 800 points today. I was literally watching this morning. Oh, there's my buddy Chris Wilson. He does the Wordle every day. I don't want to give out the Wordle, but all I can say is, as a country, we all need to really have what the Wordle is, and if everybody can have a mindset of living their life by loving everybody and being good to your neighbor and taking care of your friends and family, you're going to definitely live a great life, and you're going to get the Wordle today. So thanks. Chris is in Orlando. Hopefully he's safe from that hurricane. He should be a little more inland. I know the Magic were playing. I saw them on TV, so it couldn't have been that bad in Orlando. So inflation looks like it's cooling a little bit, which I'm hopeful will slow down these interest rate hikes. Most recently, the overnight rate went up by 0.75 basis points. So that was significant. And for some people, it doesn't affect their day-to-day business. But if you have construction loans, which we have, and if you're tied to a loan which is called plus prime, prime is what went up. So that's a challenge in real estate. So I'm hopeful that that the rate will probably only go up maybe 0.50 next time. That this is a sign that we're going in the right direction. But the other big news that I want to talk about, and I'm very frustrated by this, I think it's the death of crypto now. I'm just so disappointed that I've talked about it on the show, that I've put some money into this, and I just think it's too early. And so I just want to put a kind of a message out there to friends that are thinking about getting involved in this space. This is highly unregulated. And I believe it's the wild, wild west. And there's a number of companies that have gone out of business, that have taken investors' money and commingled them and done the wrong thing with it. The big one is this FTX that just came out. They're insolvent, and they need $8 billion now. And I don't want to scare people and say, oh, well, you bought some Bitcoin, you bought some Ethereum. I'm not saying that your money's gone and you can't go get it, but this is highly, highly unregulated and way riskier than initially thought. And this is a big problem. And I think what's happened now with this collapse, in combination with Bitcoin and Ethereum, are reacting based on the Dow Jones. They're reacting based on the market. So this was promoted to consumers as a hedge against the regular markets, a hedge against inflation, protection from all these other economic instruments. But the reality is every time the stock market has a real nosedive, so does your Bitcoin. And every time it rebounds back up, so does your Bitcoin. So the purpose, it's not doing what it was designed to do. And that's what's confusing to people. And that's why I'm saying you should not be putting more money in crypto right now. That doesn't mean that the concept of blockchain is bad, right? I've talked a lot about this idea that for real estate transactions, being able to have this kind of fraud-proof blockchain where who bought it before you, and everything about any issues, it's all kind of saved on this centralized computers that you can't manipulate. That's still a very interesting technology. But this reminds me of some of the .com companies from 20 years ago. Just because it was called pets.com and had a cute name doesn't mean it had a good business plan. So I just want the audience to be very, very careful right now. I'm not going to be personally putting any more money into any crypto, digital stuff like that. Again, it doesn't mean that Bitcoin won't have a great run in 5 years or 10 years. It doesn't mean that it's not the future. But we are too early right now to be involved in it. And so I'd like to say shame on CNBC, shame on the big companies that talk about it every day on the news, that put it up on their tickers. There's no reason for it to be up there. That just kind of gives consumers the confidence that it's something real and something that should be followed every day, and it's not. And what concerns me is that this morning the chair of the SEC was on the TV investigating it now, what happened with this FTX company. And at any time, the country, the US could say it's illegal to own Bitcoin. We're going to ban it. There's periods of time in our history where you weren't allowed to own gold. So I just think it's much more unregulated than people realize. And I'm not going to be putting any more money into it. I'm thankful I only did a little test, not a big deal. But if you put money into it, I hope it was only money you were comfortable losing and money that you did not borrow. So I want to be very clear, if you have crypto right now that you have on margin, meaning it was like a loan, you need to get out of that. Only keep in there money that you really made yourself that you're willing to lose. Do not have any margin call or any loans on crypto right now. Very, very dangerous.
Yeah.
Okay, go ahead.
It's crazy. It's crazy. They're saying it's the crypto winter, so maybe it'll start to, warm up a little bit soon. Who knows?
It's scary. You have a screenshot that I sent you, I think, from
Yes, sir.
from CNBC this morning. And if anybody's watching live and they want to throw in a comment or a question, or give their opinion, happy to share that live. But this Bitcoin, I mean, the amount of people that thought Bitcoin was going to go to $100,000, $500,000, it's just a joke. It went down to 15,000. I think this morning it's probably up to 17 or 18,000. It's directly following the markets, which is, what's the point of that? If it's going to go exactly with the stock market, I don't understand the reason to have Bitcoin. Right now, it's backed by nothing. Anybody else can come out with more tokens any day they want. Thousands of tokens are, created every day. This is just too early. And again, shame on the big companies for talking about it so much, for putting it on their TVs, their tickers, as if it's something that should be invested in right now and every day. It's just, the average consumer is going to get slammed here. If you bought Bitcoin at 40, 50, 60,000, and you wake up today and it's at 15,000, I mean, I just don't get it. You've gotten slammed. You've gotten slammed. And if you're in at Bitcoin at 5,000 or 10,000, good for you. Get out. Take your money off the table. You're lucky. Get out. I'm very disappointed in where this whole thing has gone. I just think we're too early, Doug.
Mm-hmm. I mean, lucky for me, I got Ethereum when it was 500. So I got a couple of Ethereum at 500. So yeah, we're still sitting pretty, and we'll see what happens. It's not it's money, but it's okay. If it happens to go to zero, it goes to zero. But we'll see what happens. I mean, I should have sold when it was at 4,000, but they said it was going to go to 10,000. So I was diamond hands, as they say, with the Wall Street bets, whatever that blog with the GameStop and stuff. Diamond hands.
Yeah, and there's been a couple high-profile, bankruptcies. There's been a few companies that were paying a big interest rate for you to deposit, your Bitcoin with them, and then they were basically borrowing on that money and going out and creating new coins, and they were just doing some bad things, and that's all coming crashing down. And again, I'm just disappointed that some of these mainstream companies really were out there as if this should be something the average consumer should be in. It's not. It's not. So anyway, let's switch gears. I want to be able to share a good update. We're making some nice progress over at our family project, Hedges at Hawthorne, which has been a 13-year challenge of ups and downs, but is coming together beautifully. It's going to be 118 luxury units and, of course, some retail featuring Planet Fitness and also some self-storage. So I don't know if I sent you this
what would you like to
Fitness.
start with? You want to start with the drone, the Planet Fitness? What would you like to start with?
Start with the Planet Fitness.
All right.
So I guess I should ask you, Dougie, can I borrow 25 cents? Because that's all you need.
Just for you.
Okay. That's all it takes, friends. For 25 cents a month, 25 cents down payment and $10 a month, you could join Planet Fitness. So if you click on this QR code or ask me to send this to you, we'll hook you up with it. This is the brand new Planet Fitness coming. The equipment will be installed, I think the 28th or 29th of the month. And they're going to be, I don't know their exact date of opening, but they're going to be open in December. And this is called a Black Card Spa. So they've got this like little area on the side where they've got tanning, where they have hydro massage. Of course, they have locker rooms. They've got a lot of cardio, also a 30-minute circuit, great staff, and even a mezzanine of more cardio on top. So it's a really cool first-class location. We hope everybody will sign up and join. And at $10 a month, I feel like if you only went once or twice a month, you still got a great value.
Yeah, absolutely. If you went once a month, you made your money.
Yeah. So check it out. You can go to planetfitness.com and look for Hawthorne and sign up. We're excited to welcome into the bedroom family our friends at Planet Fitness. So do you want to show the drone video? That's fine if you want to bring that up next.
Yeah. Well, let the people see what we're talking about.
Absolutely. And let's see. Okay, so great aerial shot here. The fun thing that you can see soon from the drone is the paving. We've done a lot of paving now on the residential side. Um, and the storage building is actually done. They're just putting in some signage and lettering. I'll show you some photos from that a little bit later. But we expect the storage building to open for business in either December or January. Depends on how fast the permanent power gets turned on. But all the exterior facades, all finished. The only thing we're waiting for on the Planet Fitness building is the awnings, the retail awnings. So that's not a big deal. It's just an exterior function. Oh, we're also waiting for the Juliet balconies. Those haven't come in yet for the apartments, but very pretty lighting. Oh, there they are. There's the pavers laying out the first kind of level of the asphalt, the first coat, as they say. This will make it a lot easier getting around, less mud. I also forgot to send you, I apologize, Dougie. I had some pictures and videos from the outdoor amenity area where we're going to have the grill stations and the fire pit. That got about 90% finished this week as well. It was a lot of very, very exciting to get to this stage. And we're planning for the apartments to do tours in January and open in February. There's always a lot of moving pieces, right? Supply chain, some electrical stuff, certain pieces are coming. Do you mind showing the picture inside the storage units? Do you have the numbers?
Yes, sir.
Yeah, so one of our previous guests on the show, good friend Adam Koppelman from Speed Pro Imaging, has stepped up and he's installed now 950 little numbers that go on top of all the CubeSmart storage units. So as you walk through, you'll know where to go now. It was really interesting. CubeSmart gave me kind of a whole plan where you follow, it says, okay, you start here, that's number one, and then there's like an arrow. You go this way, then you make a left, then you go another left, and I get lost following GPS, anybody who's ever been in the car with me. So, but I went over there and I followed the path and I said, okay, I understand, it makes sense, this will work. And Adam's team came out and they did a great job installing the signs. So if you're interested in being involved in any of these projects, just shoot me a note, reach out. We have 2,000 people that are interested in moving in and living at the project. And obviously there's only 118 apartments. So that will be a little bit of a challenge to get, but we're going to get through everybody. Don't worry. We're going to get to everybody. And if you're interested in the storage over the next month or so, I'm sure CubeSmart will do their official launch. So just reach out and stay in touch. Okay, the other things I wanted to talk about in general are our good friend Elon Musk. I had sent you a couple pictures last week. One of the things I always talk about is when you're investing in a business, you really want to get to know and understand who's the person that you're investing in. It's actually more important than anything. And so I've always talked about for some of my family's long-term investing, we like working with this group called Barron Funds. That's Ron Barron on the left. He's probably in his 80s now. Great guy, billionaire, very, very smart. And he first invested in Tesla probably 10 years ago and has made $6 billion on Tesla. And he thinks Tesla is going to triple again, quadruple. He's also invested in SpaceX and obviously now Twitter. Big fan of Elon Musk. So we were invited to Lincoln Center. They do this once a year big presentation to the shareholders where he talks about all the different companies. So I was shocked, but they had a huge surprise. Elon Musk actually came and spoke for an hour. And my dad took this picture. He was in the third row and did not get to meet Elon, but obviously this is just a personal picture right from the front. So if you're interested in hearing this interview, go on YouTube and type in Elon Musk, Ron Barron, and you'll find it's about an hour-long interview. And I think what you'll really get to see is Elon as a real person and a thinker, and obviously under a tremendous amount of stress right now and taking over Twitter. Seems like half the staff was let go. But more interesting enough, somebody from the audience asked a question. They said, why should I keep investing in Tesla? The stock's not doing great right now, but Mercedes is a great company. They have electric cars coming. And Elon's response was interesting. He said, I don't really try to convince people to invest in my stock. Sometimes my stock is too high, and I don't really talk about the stock price a lot. But what I could tell you is that nobody is as far along as Tesla when it comes to autonomous driving. And that even though there are a number of companies that are now coming out with electric cars and will continue to grow with the electric cars, that Tesla is light years ahead of everybody on automation, autonomy, and also battery development. And that Tesla's next project is going to be making their own batteries. And so to me, that's what's so innovative and so interesting. All the other car companies are really car companies trying to make like an electric car. They're retrofitting their car to electric. Elon and Tesla is like a tech company. It's a chip that happens to have wheels. Like every month you get a software update. All the data from all the cars on the road are are giving that information analytics back to Tesla to make it safer, to make it better. They're just doing things that other people aren't doing. And so that's why we're still bullish long term on Tesla, because if Tesla sells 300,000 EVs, another company sells 20,000, but that's not really where the big impact is right now. It's how far ahead they are on the tech and the batteries and the autonomy, because you're going to wake up in 5 years and there's going to be a lot more electric cars being sold than gas cars. Clearly,
just like we talked about, in 5 years, California can no longer create or manufacture gas-powered cars.
New cars, right? Yep.
Yeah.
You'll still be able to sell back and forth used cars. Yeah. So it's not a surprise that all the other brands are going to sell a lot of cars. Like, the car market is huge. There's obviously millions of cars sold a year. So as people are demanding electric cars, that number will definitely go up. But as that number is going up and all those other companies are catching up, Tesla will already be on the next thing, which will be autonomous driving. And I think you're really going to find it interesting. He said to the audience, if you only drive your car 2 hours a day, you're using like 1/5 of the car's potential. He said, if we get to the next level, stage 5, let's say autonomy, your car drops you off at work, and then it goes and it picks other people up and it drops them off, and then it goes to sleep and takes a nap and recharges, whatever. Like he said, think about how much more valuable your car will be if it can be used more and make you money as it goes out and does autonomous things for you. And that's going to have a huge impact on me with real estate, because Doug, if you don't need your car as much and your car is constantly moving around, it's not parking in parking lots. Parking lots is what drives real estate development. In order to have a development, you have to have a certain amount of parking to support that development. So this is a tremendous generational shift.
Yeah.
It really is long term.
And I'm sure, like, as a real estate guy, like, you can have these like 10-story high garage bays that house all these autonomous cars for all the like housing developments in the area. So like you can have like a huge apartment complex or condos that have tons of people in it on a side street where there's not a lot of room for parking, but then you can have a garage nearby that's like 10 stories high of just cars, and they automatically come at the time they're supposed to pick their person up and take them to work, and then they go charge. And then think about drive-throughs too. Like say you buy something online, the car can go pick it up and the person just drops it into your trunk and then it drives back, brings your product right to you.
I've been using DoorDash a lot more recently, and it's just fantastic. I mean, my daughter wanted some soup with her friend from Panera Bread, and I said, you know what, I'll have a cookie, and just throw the cookie in there, and the next thing you know, like it's not worth it for $5. It's not worth it for me to go get it,
Yeah.
And I was shocked. Like DoorDash will go to Walgreens, they'll go to PetSmart, they'll go to a bunch of places for you. They'll
Yeah.
get you a bunch of stuff, not just
Yeah.
and so that clearly, to your point, is the future. But if you're developing real estate in an area where land is very expensive and very, what I'd say, a tight market,
Mm-hmm.
if you can now put the cars somewhere else, like 20 minutes away where there's plenty of land, that's a game changer, Doug.
Yeah.
You know, if you're building in like a very expensive area and you can only build, 50 apartment units because you need parking, now you could perhaps build 100 because you don't need the parking.
Mm-hmm.
And so that's just a game changer. And I think just Tesla's way ahead of everybody. So we're still very bullish on Tesla. Look, I am not able to time the market. Most investors, most good business people are just really not able to time the market. So I'm going to stay away from kind of saying when to buy Tesla stock, not to buy, things like
Mm-hmm.
that. I'm talking more playing the long game, right? Everything I do in
Mm-hmm.
my business, I think about golf. I want to play the long game, not mini golf. So if you're going
Mm-hmm.
to be investing in a real estate project, be willing to own it 5, 10, 15, 20 years, right? Same thing with a great company like Apple, Tesla, Amazon. Don't be so worried about these companies day to day, month to month. These are big generational shifters. I mean, Disney just had horrible earnings because of Disney Plus. Well, you know what?
Mm-hmm.
Disney, the parks, the brands, the intellectual properties, the videos, invaluable. It's priceless. Like,
Mm-hmm.
yeah, they may have lost a boatload of money right now and they may be down, but that is a company that is not going anywhere.
Mm-hmm.
And you should be looking for companies that you feel confident in for 5, 10, 15 years when you're making those decisions.
Yeah, I think you said it best. All these companies, they're car companies trying to make them electric, where Tesla is a tech company who just happen to put their tech on wheels.
That's right. It's a chip on wheels, and I want people to think about that. They're not a car company. They're a tech. They're a chip company. They're making their own chips. They're going to make their own batteries. They're going to build I mean, the way he thinks. He pretty much landed a rocket. So when I'm talking about SpaceX, which is this private space exploration company that opened up
Mm-hmm.
internet to parts of the world that don't have high speed internet, basically he figured out that all these big companies like Lockheed Martin um, would throw away the rockets after they used a rocket to go to space.
Mm-hmm.
And the reason why was because the government kept paying the bill every time they had to make a new rocket. They said, "Oh, there's innovation. We're going to make something new," and the government kept saying, "Okay, we'll pay for it." So
Yep.
Elon figured out how to reuse the rocket, and so
Mm-hmm.
like he's like landing a rocket. I mean, this is crazy. Like
Yeah.
from space, to be able to reuse a rocket, that's going to bring down the cost to go to space tremendously, right?
Mm-hmm.
So
Yeah.
instead of spending $1 billion on every new rocket, now you're going to spend, I don't know, $20 million, $50 million, whatever it is, and go back to space again and again and again, which will allow him to put up more satellites, connect the world with internet, with the Starlink
Mhm.
product. And it's just the way he thinks is different. When he gets to a problem, he thinks about, okay, how can I now solve the problem? Like if you can't get batteries, go build a factory and make your own batteries. That's not how other people think, Doug,
Yeah.
but that's how the great entrepreneurs think.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and speaking of the satellite, there are a ton of satellites up, and they're coming out with a phone. So like the phone will be able to be used all over the world. You won't need cell phone reception. There's a whole bunch of stuff coming from Tesla.
Cool, cool.
Yeah.
So I made a couple investments also recently, some real estate projects. One in an area called Fayetteville, North Carolina, which
Mm-hmm.
is an apartment complex. And these are deals that I just invested in. I'm not the sponsor of these deals.
Mm-hmm.
And then also one in Newton, Massachusetts, which is a great area. Um, and then another complex down in I'm blanking for a second. Let me think here. DC, somewhere like right outside DC.
Mm-hmm.
So if people are still, active and they're looking around, I use the company Crowd Street. It's like a crowdfunding, where you can buy we've talked about you can buy real estate online.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm testing some of those right now. happy to share, I'll be able to share my experience on some of those deals. And, one of them actually paid me a distribution like a few weeks after I bought it. So I was pretty excited about that. So, there's great opportunities still in real estate. Obviously, it's getting harder and harder, right, with the interest rates high. But, during every period, whether it's the recession, the Great Recession of '08 or the depressions that we've gone through, great people will always find opportunities. And so, when people are running out of the fire, there's always an opportunity, if you're smart and you're long-term planning and you know what you're doing, to run in and find little hidden gems. So we're still doing that, and happy to share that feedback as I get more.
Absolutely. Good stuff.
Yeah, Doug. So that's all I got for today. I just wanted to kind of issue that warning out there about where things are going right now with crypto, and to be very, very careful. Okay. And I hope the audience can hear that. And if you have any questions, reach out. If you disagree, send an email. There it is. right here. Get up with Garret. That's me at gmail.com. We're also growing the Instagram. There it is, at Garret Graham. Somebody once asked me, is that your middle name, Graham? I said, no, it's like Instagram. It's Garret Graham. So that was cute. I forgot to send you. I saw a license plate. It was not Mark Zuckerberg driving, but the license plate said Metaverse. I posted that. So nice. If you do follow Garret Graham, you'll sometimes see some funny vanity plates on. People send them in from all over, so I always share them when I get those.
Absolutely.
Cool. So look forward to seeing everybody in a few weeks, and just remember, the more you give, the more you get. And appreciate everybody tuning in today. Have a great day. And Doug, will talk to you soon, buddy.
Catch you later, guys.
Play me out.